Are are you hearing me? Why do you have the nations that they came from? They divided. And then they come over here to this, and division continues. They tell people not to mess with certain people, don't hang around in certain neighborhoods. And then they begin to form their own nation, nation. And we have even black Muslims here that have separated themselves from other people who are their family. So you see, division is the way the devil conquers everything that he's ever conquered. And he hasn't conquered it. Everything he tried to do cost him. He lost everything. And the only thing that he wants revenge on are not angels, but the children or the creation that God called man. And now here we have men right down here on earth who don't understand the heavenly solution is returning to God and learning how to use your weapons of warfare against spiritual opponents, not carnal. So, in saying that, division is always, this is what we have to remember, it's always going to destroy something. The divisions that family members have. It destroys something, whether you can see it or not, something is being destroyed. The dysfunction in families, a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. So you see, learning over time after mistakes, which everyone uh, have done, that learning period was a training period. And sometimes you don't even know that you're in training. And this training takes you away from what you've learned through your parents teaching you or whatever. And then we take it and we call it something else. And we call it, I'm doing what I want to do. And when we do that, we think we take control over our lives because now we're driving. Now I'm making decisions. I'm driving. I got everything in control. I don't have to ask nobody for nothing. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. And then when we do that, we make ourselves the same person that the devil was. So independent that not even God could tell him what to do. And that's how some of us have become. We have become so far displaced from God, nobody can tell us anything. We do and say what we want to do, and whether it's good or whether it's bad, we do it anyway because we are doing me. I'm doing me, whatever that is. The division, when that, whenever that enters in, and a person goes off into thinking that they are the solution to everybody else's problem, or nobody has a solution to their problems but them, then they put themselves in a position or on a shelf where they really can't be touched. Actually, they really can't be helped. So that frame of mind has to be changed. That frame of mind has to be really eliminated. That I don't want to deal with uh, God syndrome is really what has to be done now. Because as long as that frame of mind is, people are going to do whatever they want to do, regardless to what's right, regardless to what's natural. And when that happens, we take on that same persona that the devil took on. And when we do that, we just like who we follow. We don't think we following him because we live in our lives and doing what we want to do, and even going to church and even doing other stuff that's good without God being injected into it and getting the credit for it. It ain't worth nothing except for what it's worth to you, what you get out of it. So what we got to do in order to kind of retrain people is to tell them that the best way to solve a problem is to let God deal with it. You know, go to God. But people, when they're angry, they don't want to go to nobody. And whether they're angry or not, sometimes they don't want to go to nobody. They don't want to tell nobody they business. And then when they do get upset with somebody and tell somebody their business, it's all over the internet. Everybody knows it. And that's the bad part about division. It always makes you justify what you do, but you have a judgment call on what somebody else does. And the judgment call, when you are judged, then there's another step after the judgment, which is in this system's law, is after you've been judged, you go to jail. Well, on these medias where these people are sowing this division, it's worse than going to jail because the division is being sown between family, friends who have been implanted into family business that have really don't even have a family. Maybe their parents or whoever is already gone, and now they don't have no mama or no daddy or no friends, and then or only friends, and they just get attached to them, which just is a human thing. But what we need to do to solve the division, I can't say this enough, is return to God. Because until we return to God, we can say we forgive all we want to, but we don't be really forgiving. Nobody say forget, but we don't even want to be forgiving. And this system is the same way. When you violate the law in this system, it persecutes you most of the time without any mercy, any idea of what freedom is. You're not being free. That's the first thing that's going to be taken from you. And then once you get ready to enter back into the system, they got some other stuff for you that might bring you right back into the system. So division among family is something that we have to solve. Division in black communities among all people of color is what we have to solve. The and everybody is talking about who they are, like as far as worshipers of God. Even those people are in a state of division. And like I said when I first started, every nation on the planet that came here came from a nation that was already divided. So when they came here, they brought all that division with them when it came to how they looked at another nation. That's what we have to get rid of. We need a real um, rainbow coalition. People from every walk of the life, every business, every walk of life. It don't matter where they from or who they are. It needs to be people of color with white people. That's a true rainbow because a rainbow doesn't have just two or three colors in it. It represents every color. And that's what we need to promote more love between people of color. But this society that we live in here in the United States, being what it is, was never built for people of color. It was built by people of color. And although we did all that work that we did, this place was not the place that we could call home. White people could call this home after they took it from the Native Americans who are also people of color. And we got to stop the hate. Division brings about that hate. Lies and misinformation brings about that hate. And we think we saw a little of it some time ago. We think we saw a little of it some time ago. That was not a drop in the bucket. That was a few thousand people, but there was 72,000 that went the wrong way. 72, 70 something million, 70 something million. So we got a lot of work to do, and we need to hold those people accountable that we have placed in office. They are not moving quick enough. They got all three sections of the House, and they in there squabbling among themselves. When this last president was in there was no squabbling. They did whatever he said. But here we got Democrats that don't want to do that because they liberals or they on the right or whatever it is. And they should come together and figure out how to get these things passed that we put them in office for. Because if they don't, they'll all be one termers, Ocasio, AOC, or AIL, or whoever. Biden, Vice President, all of those that we put in, them people in Georgia, y'all out of here. You won't get my vote. I ain't but one, but you won't be getting that one. I doubt if I vote for any name that starts with T. If it starts with a T, I'm not going to even look at who it is. But I'm not voting for that either. What I would like to do is see the Democrats grow a pair and a backbone and get to pushing the bills through that they said they was going to get pushed through. Now you gave those bills, that bill to the Orientals, which was great. Thank you, because we know it can be done. So now let's do it for African Americans. You're not going to be a two-term president, and it might not be another Democratic president in there. Because the last Democratic president we had that was black didn't do very much for his people. He could have changed some stuff, although they sat on him every day, just like they sitting on Biden. But now you got people on his side, Democrats, who are sitting on him. Division. It's what's going to destroy the Democrats. It's going to destroy them. And when it finally knocks them all out the box, Pelosi and whoever else is going to take her place, y'all need to get those bills passed. Because if you don't, people are going to be looking at you sideways because I'm already looking at you sideways, wondering why you're dragging your feet. It's almost like the Republicans don't want the slaves to be free, and the Democrats do, but they don't want them to have nothing. Or maybe it's the other way around. The Republicans don't want the African American or people of color to have anything, and maybe it's the Democrats that now that we hooked up with them don't want to set us free. But we need to set some of them free and set some examples because we set some examples when we went out there and cast those votes both in Georgia and everywhere else across the United States. Because we went out and voted and turned out in unheard of numbers. So now what are we going to do now? Now that we got them in there, it's their turn to do something. And if they don't start doing what they need to be doing, then we need to start telling them, you're fitting to lose the next election. You're not going to be voted in again for a second term because one, you're going to be too old, and two, you didn't do nothing this time, or vice versa. You didn't do nothing this time, and now you're too old to do anything. Kamala Harris, you need to talk to your people up there on top. Get those bills passed because the presidency for you is in reach. Because if Biden don't get moving on this, or you don't get moving on it, neither one of you guys is going any further up the ladder. Not according to the president, not according to the information that's out there now circulating, that you guys are not doing your job. You did something great for the Oreo Nation. Now do the same thing for this nation that's been over here 400 years fighting this oppression. And if we can't get out of this oppression with Biden and Harris in office, we're not going to ever get out of it. Because if they lose the next election, our next president is going to put his thumb on everybody and everything. I'm just waiting and I'm just watching. And I'm just trying to understand how come we got all the power and we in stalemate. We got all the power and we got a couple of people that can hold us down. Even though they on our side, they holding us down. Crabs in a barrel effect. Okay, there are statistics that maybe I don't know about, but is it about statistics and about money, or is it about doing the right thing? Because I'm not concerned about statistics or money. What I'm concerned about are the many people that have already been killed in this country over some racial incident or some incident involving the police where they show they don't care either. So what are we gonna do, America? Are we gonna become a real democracy or are we gonna become something else? Are we gonna become a real light, a beacon for other worlds to be like us? Or are we gonna continue to be a bunch of hypocrites? Are we going to stick with our allies or are we going to continue to turn our back on them? What are we going to do, America? Because the whole world is watching. And we are not enough to be against the whole world or have the whole world come against us. We can't bomb everybody. Oh, we can't? No. So what are we gonna do, America? You don't know. I don't know. But I feel like the only thing to do is unite white people and people of color. Put your foot, your feet, keep your hands off of other people and unite. Let's show some love. We supposed to be America the Great, and now we being called America the Hate. You know, full of it. Ain't it's more hate over here in America than it is anywhere else. There's a lot of other places. Plenty of hate and plenty of reasons to be hateful or hurtful. Look at the volcanoes. You got more people paying attention to the volcano, going to visit to see the volcano than they do to go somewhere and help somebody after disaster has come. They want to go see a beautiful volcano spitting lava out and ashes and everything. And that's how people that have are. They are stupid when it comes to going to do me. They go do me all the time. We need to point that stupid stuff out. Remember all those people that went up to climb Mount Everett and the line was just all long and you got people standing on the mountain trying to climb. We look real stupid when we when posted stuff or news comes out like that. Real stupid. America the Great. Look at them. They think they can do anything, and they can't. They so divided now. America can't get a fresh fart out of nobody. They all stale farts. Ain't no fresh farts. We need some fresh brain farts up in the White House because all of them got a lot of bad brain farts. Them the kind of farts I'm talking about. They ain't doing nothing. They fighting among themselves. I'm gonna keep saying that because why would the most powerful nation in the world be so divided among themselves that now they fighting among themselves? How does that look to the other nations who are also fighting among themselves trying to be democratic or something like that? It's bad, people. It's bad. And before we get worse, I hope we go to God. Let's call on God. Oh God. Hey God. Father. Oh Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Back to that. That's right. So God is always on my mind because when he ain't, I ain't doing too good. When he ain't on my mind, I'm not thinking holy. You feel me? I'm not thinking nicely. And I have to be careful with that because like I say, training is thinking and then action. Before anything anybody ever does or do, they think about it first and then they go do it. And see, that's why God said that's where it all starts. It all starts right inside of you, and then later on it comes out. Sometimes it ain't true. Like those men who drive trucks and cars through protests, or those families who go and get their guns and stand out on their property and threaten people, or a guy that's got millions of dollars from selling pillows, and another actor go and bail out a killer, a murderer. Hate. distrust. That's what gripped America the past 5 years. Hate, misinformation. Or let's call what misinformation is in a word. A lie. Lies. Lies and more lies. Until so many people were so confused, they didn't know they from a hole in the ground. And some of them still don't. They think they is a hole in the ground. Murdering people, killing people, and then calling on immunity. Leaving some country and coming home after killing somebody's kid. That's enough to make you hate America, the whole thing, because when you try to get help, the whole thing is about an American not being prosecuted. But they can do anything they want to do almost to anybody else and get away with it clean. I believe that our allies that we are beginning to turn our backs on, when it comes time for us to need some help, they're going to be the ones that'll be the enemies, and we won't have anybody to call. It'll be America against other powers, more powers than we could afford to have against. Allies who we turning our backs on helped us fight their own people, divided nation, thinking that they was gonna come here and be safe. Now they're over in Afghanistan just like they were in Vietnam. Stuck like Chuck, but in a rut. We Americans, we tired of fighting the 20-year war that we started. We tired of fighting the 20 some year war that we started because somebody said some people had weapons of mass destruction. And today, to this day, we know that was, in a word, lie, 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 lie. And there we were. And the beat goes on. 20 years later, we got a president that pulled them out. We had two presidents that wanted to pull them out. First president didn't know how to pull them out. The second president knew how to pull them out, but he didn't know how to pull them out. Even though we had the same incident in Vietnam some time ago, where after all the army left, Ho Chi Minh, Saigon became Ho Chi Minh City. Took over. That's what the Taliban is doing, taking over, and now they want to talk to America and kiss up. Come on, y'all, set that money free. All that money y'all got belong to us. Please give it to us. So here we are again at a bypass, a standoff, a shortcut, a narrow passage, and everybody is acting like they don't know what to do. The White House don't know what to do. The Senate, nobody knows what to do. We got three organizations and nobody knows what to do. Division. Division is one of the most powerful weapons ever known to man. Ever. Because as soon as man think he's together, as soon as man back when thought they were together, they got confounded at the Tower of Babel and didn't understand nothing. It was confusion. And see, the devil, he's a master of trying to emulate God's power. Although he don't use just a word, he goes out and he spreads whatever he needs to spread to get the point across. Division. I'll be glad when this nation finally understands that we are so divided we cannot stand. We, as a people in this nation, need to come together. And if we can't come together, we won't come together. And if we won't come together, then we will all fall. It's been a half an hour of conversation. And I'm sure I could sit here for another 2 or 3 and talk about all the stuff that's going on in America that we need to unite to put a stop to. Gun regulation, infrastructure, and I don't mean the highways. I mean the pipes that carry the water to families. We need to start digging it all up and change them pipes out to the better material, whatever that is, and stop poisoning whole cities with tainted water. They talking about don't give a man all that money that he wants. He need all that money plus 10 years, 20 years, because that's how long it's going to take to get things right. And who cares about the money anyway? Don't America make all the money? I mean, ain't they got print presses that print out billions and billions and billions and billions of notes every day? So what's all this? Fix it if it's broke. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But right now, the whole system is broke. So we need to get it fixed. Injustice, not just infrastructure. The court system needs to be changed. Some laws need to be changed. They need to stop making laws to have war on drugs and sending all them people into the poor areas to harass people, take them to jail for trying to make a sale. Something so small it didn't even deserve a call. Something so minor and minute wasn't worth somebody coming out to shoot. But here we are in that day and age. 2021. And it seems like we way back when nobody was at peace. Have we gone that far back? Are we not at peace? We got no peace here in America. Haven't been at any peace here in America for quite some time. I thank God for peace on the inside of this body. And I hope that you can find some peace too. But if you don't find God, you will not find peace. If you're looking for peace here on earth without God, you probably get a piece of cake, but you ain't gonna get no PEAC. Trouble is tribulation. Times however long you want to put a number on it. That's how long tribulation is and confront us until Coming up on 35 minutes. 36. I want to say thank God for sending His Son, the God that sins of the world. I want to thank Him and praise Him for opening my eyes first about me, and then making it clear for me to see everything and everybody. I truly want to praise Him and thank Him for the teachers that I received and how He has stuck with me, the teaching that I received and changed from physical teachers to spirit. And I thank the Lord for that. Pray for and I pray that our president, vice president, their cabinet, their Democratic Party come together, reason together. Don't worry about doing anything other than what's right and what's needed. So if they think that, for the Republicans, I think they just want to destroy everything, start all over. God, of his vote to the government for Hartman, Bobby Jack, y'all. Twice.